What's up, what's up? It's time for Done Way Past Funny with your host, G.D. Fenderson. Join us as we take a look back at the early works of seasoned comedians before they were seasoned with this week's guest, Tony Walker. It's time to get down and get dope with Done Way Past Funny. Hi, welcome to Done Way Past Funny, where we discuss the art, science, business, and psychology of comedy with comedians and the comedy adjacent. I'm your host, G.D. Fenderson, Certified Forensic Humourist at large, but I'm losing weight. My guest today, oh wow, that's a misspelling. I wrote my gust. You wouldn't have known that unless I told you. I can't help it. I'm sorry. I'm on the verge. I'm on the spectrum of funny. Not my guest today is comedian, actor, and host of Knockem Dead Comedy, Tony Walker. Welcome, Tony.
Hi, GD. I'm happy to be your guest.
I don't know why because if I caught it before I read it, so nobody would have known that I wrote gust.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, so I'll fix it later. But okay. Everybody, this is Tony Walker from Knockem Dead Comedy. Tony, if you will do the people an injustice or a justice and tell them a little bit about yourself and also where they can stalk you if you want them to stalk you on social media.
Stalking is a good thing. I'm fine with that. Hi, I'm Tony Walker of Knockem Dead Comedy from Long Island, New York, Hicksville to be exact. Knockem Dead Comedy is a dinner theater troupe. We've been going for many years now, performing audience interactive murder mysteries, comedic murder mysteries, and we have a lot of fun. We travel all over the place. If they're paying, we're coming. But we do. We're mostly on Long Island, but we travel a little bit. We've been in every state in the whole Northeast, from Pennsylvania to Maine. We've done every state. And then I also run the podcast studio at Governor's Comedy Club. Governor's Comedy Club is in Levittown, New York. That is one of the first comedy clubs in the whole country. People like Eddie Murphy started here, Jackie the Joke Man from the old Howard Stern show. And that's where I run a podcast studio, and we have the Knockem Dead Comedy Show. We have a whole bunch of shows, sports shows, comedy shows, and we even have a bunch of guys drinking coffee with a dog every morning.
Yes, that would be me. Although I don't drink coffee in the morning, I wake up caffeinated. The joke in my family, actually, it's my joke, not my wife's. My wife doesn't think it's my wife. She does think it's funny, but my joke is that I have a mixed marriage. It's not the race thing. That's not important. I mean, we are different races, reparations. But I have a real mixed marriage in the sense that I'm a morning person and my wife is not. That's when your marriage is tested. First thing in the morning. Because for the first, until she's had her coffee, there's nothing I can say. I can't wake up and go, look, honey, look what I got going on down there. Doesn't matter. She's like, don't touch me until I've had my coffee. I don't care. So
if that was the case, then I would make sure I'd have a coffee maker right next to my side of the bed. Wake her right up.
I tried to just drink. I tried to just have coffee in the sperm, but no. So look, honey, we could rub out we could kill two birds with one stone.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
No.
All right.
No, I'm sorry. I'd never said that before. I just wake up and make the coffee.
It's all downhill from here, man.
So,
wow.
Now, I deliberately mention actor and comedian because, like I said, you talked about the murder mysteries. You've done them, like I said, basically the Northeast, Pennsylvania to Maine. And I can't believe that you've been in two of the states that I frequent, and you've never asked me to be a dead body on any of those shows.
Yeah, that'll go over real well if I ask the African American guy, hey, can you just die? That'll go over really well. Yeah.
Well, if you want to buffer it, don't let me die first.
Oh, okay. All right. That
You don't have another real person there. Just when you see I'm dead, say that's the second dead person we've had on the night, and that way they'll go, "Oh, thank God he's not the first," because that would be
we're
racist.
equal opportunity killers. Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely right.
yes,
Yes.
yeah. Not somebody like I wouldn't waste a knife on him, nigger. I wouldn't waste a good bullet on that nigger. No,
Oh my goodness. GD said it. GD said that, not me.
Yeah, but I got it from your script. No, I'm just no.
Oh, that copy. I didn't know where that one went.
Now,
Wow.
as far as the murder mysteries go, and I got this off your website. You do corporate events, team building events, wedding rehearsals. You don't do weddings, just the rehearsals.
Yeah, we'll do the wedding too. We'll branch out.
Okay, because you could also do the rehearsals. You could also do the part after the wedding. The
Well,
honeymoon. No, no, no,
oh.
no, no.
We're murdering something else, I think, at that time. But,
Reception. That's it. Receptions. You could
the
do
reception. That's
Yeah.
it. Yes.
Uh,
Yes. We'll do those too. Yes.
appreciation dinners, holiday parties, uh, and I'm assuming it doesn't matter what the holiday is. So if it's Rumspringer, actually that's not really a holiday, is it? That's it sounds like it should be a holiday.
It should be. Yeah. Yeah. For all
Um,
you Rumspringists out there.
that's right. Uh, restaurants, hotels, bachelor and bachelorette parties, sweet 16s, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, uh, game shows,
Yeah.
um, and appreciation dinners.
Right.
Now, I mean, I think I've already said that, but what I did not say, I skipped over this one: fundraising events. And the reason why I skipped over fundraising events is because I want to save it for last.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming you've done a lot of different fundraisers.
Yes.
Is there like one particular cause that like touches you more than the others?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I have an autistic daughter, so any special needs organizations, that's always that's the special needs organizations. They usually can get me to
Lower your rate?
yeah, they'll hit me they'll hit me in the heartstrings. So I'm like, all right, I'll take another $50 off. And usually the cancer organizations too. They usually we've actually, in all seriousness, we've actually had people say to us, I haven't been smiling, I haven't been having a good time lately because of my diagnosis, or because of going through chemo or whatever, and you guys, you guys were able to get me to forget about all that stuff for a night and enjoy myself. So yeah, that's a pretty cool thing.
Now, this next question, I'm asking it not out of my own curiosity, but apparently one of your cast members just sent this into me just now.
Really?
And he wanted to know if that $50 comes out of your pocket or is it split up among everybody. They just asked me that, and
depends on their performance.
Okay, I'll let them know.
So you're the union rep for them, apparently.
Just for the purposes of that question. Now, I was asked to ask you a question. Actually, I invited this question. I said to Matt Napo from Coffee with the Dog. He's the dog on Coffee with the Dog. I asked him. I told him you're going to be doing this with me, and I said, "Is there a question that I can ask him on your behalf?" Now, I know the two of you know each other, so it's just kind of stupid because he can just like call you at any time and ask you anything, and you'll either answer it or tell him to fuck off.
Or, probably the latter, yeah.
Or both. Answer and then say fuck off.
Yeah.
But his question is it true that you invented podcasting?
My answer to that is what? Because Matt's deaf, so I'm like, what? That son of a bitch. Yeah, I've heard him say that on your show many times. So if anybody was watching, maybe I'd be mad, but Uh, um, no, I did not invent podcasting. You bald prick bastard, Matt Napo. Yeah, yeah. Matt had Jackie the Joke Man on once, and Jackie and I we were having an issue at the time. So Jackie was on your show complaining about it, and
Okay.
yeah, which led Matt to say, "Oh, that guy thinks he invented podcasting." I'm pretty proud of my Matt Napo impression. I'll have you know.
It's pretty dead on, except for you have too much hair on your face. I don't.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't color my facial hair like he does.
Well, he has to, because if he does it, the mole will shine through. I don't actually think he's coloring the mustache. I think he's coloring the mole, and it's just spillover. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So no, I did not. I think he invented podcasting because he's older than everybody else. So he's probably been doing it for a long time.
Oh yeah, although he's been doing it for so long, he doesn't like calling it podcasting anymore. He refers to it as a digital podcast, a digital broadcast.
A digital broadcast, right? Because that's what people from the 1960s. That's what they call it.
Yeah, and also snobs. That's what snobs call it.
And I'm guessing maybe when he's watching other digital broadcasts and he's got to adjust the rabbit ears and stuff.
Well, their podcasts, and he doesn't, and he gets to get out the tin foil,
Right?
and has the youngest person in the room stand next to it and adjust it.
Let me ask though, because he's married, right?
Yes.
I'm guessing either he hates his wife or his wife hates him, because that guy is streaming live every single day more than he's off the air. Like I don't think he gets up off that chair. Like, I think, he has dinner delivered right there. He's probably got a diaper on or something. Like, I don't think he leaves that chair, and he just goes live. Like,
actually, that's his old chair. He wore a diaper. That's a new chair because the old chair broke, and it actually has a hole in the bottom with a bucket underneath.
I would.
He
not
doesn't
be
wear
surprised.
pants. He doesn't wear pants. He's saving a lot of money on diapers.
Everything you're telling me, I'm just glad when I have met him that he was wearing pants. That's all. That's all. Yeah. Wow.
And the fact that he spends so much time away from his wife just shows how much he does love her. Otherwise, she'd be spending time with him.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Matt's a good man, and yeah, he's actually been in one of my murder mysteries.
Yeah. I don't remember what he did, but yeah, I remember when he was rehearsing his lines or something. He was looking forward to it.
It was actually so. Yeah, you guys have been doing the show. He's for a long time, and then and then we put it here on Gov's Comedy Club podcast, and he does it. You guys do it all remotely. He has his own, what looks like a really nice studio set up in his house. So I never actually met him until I put out a casting call. I had one actor who couldn't make just one show. Matt reached out and said, I think I could give that a go. And Matt's a very good guitar player. He plays out. I don't know if he's acted before, but I figured he's been in front of an audience. So I thought, all right, this might work. So, and he didn't come to rehearsals either. So we actually didn't even meet until the night of the actual show.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was a little nervous, because I didn't know what exactly we were going to get. And the fact too, so we're backstage, the show hasn't started yet. And I asked everybody, the whole cast, we're getting dressed, getting ourselves together. And I said, you guys want to run lines and just make sure, everybody's on the same page here for when we go out. And Matt goes like this. He goes, what? I said, do you want to run lines? Sure enough, he goes, I'm deaf, so I couldn't hear what you were saying. So now I turned to one of the other cast members. I had a business partner at the time. He has since retired, but I just kind of whispered to him. I go, did he just say he's deaf? So I'm like, how the fuck are we going to do this show if he's deaf? Like, and sure enough, as the cast is running lines, I see Matt, like, he's leaning in towards each cast member to hear what they're saying. I'm like, so I'm freaking out in my head. Like, I never knew this about the man. But he is. I think it's legally deaf, but he can still hear a little bit.
Right.
And he did great. He really did a really nice job. And I asked him. I said, would you be willing to do it again? Because we really had a good time with you. And he said yes. But now, having said that, we haven't used them since. But we will at some point. He was good. And luckily, his legally hearing issues did not get in the way. He did a really nice job, and I've seen him a few times since. He's been in here a couple of times, and I'm hoping he's going to come January 24th. I'm hoping, he backed out of the show, but I'm hoping he'll at least be here to watch.
It does depend on whether he thinks we're targets to be shot at. But
well,
now
he's the biggest target, not us.
Oh yeah. That's why I wanted him there to make sure he absorbed the bullets. But so just in case somebody showed up and had a choice between shooting a black guy and Matt, they go like, "Oh, we're shooting Matt." The black guy's harmless.
That's right.
So
that's funny.
Now the murder again back to the murder mystery. Not that we actually left, but to actually get more about the murder mystery as opposed to murder mystery and Matt. This is the scripts you do. How much is scripted? How much is improv? And the stuff that's scripted, how often do you change scripts? And do you write your own, or do you like pay a small fee and rent a corporate script from someplace else?
Do
you have clean shows and dirty shows?
I describe our shows as PG-13.
Okay.
And then the audiences, the people that hire us, you do what you want with that. We're going to come in and do our thing. We have done some churches and some family shows, so we will clean it up. But if we're just allowed to come in and do what we normally do, it's a PG-13 show. Now we've done shows where, like, we've done shows here at Governor's. So when you're in a comedy club, you're expecting an F-bomb and certain things.
Oh yeah.
So we let it fly. The shows are normally then, again, PG-13. So there's innuendos and there's stuff going on that's, that adults will understand. We've never really, again, unless we're playing in a place like Governor's, I wouldn't say we've ever gone R-rated. Again, just maybe throwing an F-bomb out there, but that's it. I do have a strict rule that no matter what they say, no matter what they allow, you still, even if you can drop F-bombs all night long, you still might offend somebody with a Jesus Christ or a goddamn.
Yeah.
So that's a big rule that I have. No.
And also that would be the one night that somebody from another corporation would want to hire you and go, "Oh, we can't hire these guys." That they dropped F-bombs and used it grammatically incorrectly.
Exactly. It's true. So unless we're playing a place like Governor's, and I'll even tell the cast, even at Governor's, try not to do it too much, because we don't want to get into that habit and give a false impression. A corporate event, the corporate events, and there's, people like to loosen up a little bit, but corporate events, you still have to be kind of on your best behavior. They don't want it going too off the rails. So I tell the guys, look, if we can just not get into that habit. So so we really don't curse much. It's only PG-13 because of the innuendos. I write the scripts. I'm trying to think what else you asked me. There was a lot. There was a lot there.
Yeah, I asked some of them were like and/or questions, like, did you write the scripts, or and how often do you change the script?
I change the scripts all the time. We have four different murder mysteries that we offer. I wrote them all, and I wrote them. I think the last one I wrote was 2009. So between 2002 and 2009 is when I wrote the four scripts. But I've been, I tinker with them. I mess with them all the time. I've written characters out, or just maybe make something more topical, or just maybe something wasn't working. Actually, I'll change a lot depending on who's playing the role too.
Oh, okay.
That
makes sense.
Yeah, because I know, this would work if this particular actor was doing this instead. So, always making changes all the time. Oh, yeah, and then as far as improv, it's a scripted show. Because of the murder mystery aspect, you got to give out the clues and hints. So the scripted lines have to come out. But I don't call it improv, but I have said to people that I do think it's one of the best ways to hone an ad-libbing skill.
Right.
And
Yeah.
improv, because they're two different things. Improv,
Yeah.
you're creating a situation and you're going with it to see where it goes. Where ad-libbing, you're working with something that's already there.
Right.
So I tell the cast all the time, you can go, if it's your line, you can go off on any tangent you want. You can do whatever you want with it. I never expect the line to be verbatim unless it's pertaining to the murder or it's a joke setup. But
If
feel
it
free to,
contains a clue, because if you don't want them to not give off, not tell the clue,
right.
Yeah,
because that stuff has to come out.
Yeah.
But so within that, as long as you get the stuff out, you can go wherever you want. You can take it wherever you want. You can have all sorts of fun with it. But my rule is you have to be able to bring it back so that we know where we are. You'd be surprised how quickly the cast members will get confused. What is he talking about? Where are we? So if you can go wherever you want, just be able to bring it back. So it's excellent ad-libbing.
Actually, I'm glad that you just made that distinction between ad-libbing and improv, because in all the time I've been doing this show, I've always referred to improv, and I don't think I've ever referred to ad-libbing, and I've treated them like they're the same, but they're not. And I'm glad.
Yeah, that's my personal feel. That's my personal take on it.
I think you're spot on. And so anyone who's watching this, go back and watch every episode, and let me know when I've misused improv, when I should have said ad-lib, and I will go back and just dub in the word ad-lib.
It's a good idea. That's a good way to get people to watch.
Yeah, especially the people really looking for faults and flaws, as if they couldn't find enough without looking that hard.
For every mistake that you find, make a list, and Matt Napa will send you $5 for each one.
Are you kidding? He'll take it out of my pay, which means I owe him money.
Yeah, right.
Now you do the mystery theater, but you also do traditional stand-up as well, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, yes. I do. I got I've been doing the murder mysteries. I've had my own company since 2002, but I got into it in the mid 90s. So I've been doing this stuff for almost 30 years. And we've done them here at Governor's. So that's what led to me running the podcast studio. I just got to talking to some of the guys here, and the studio wasn't really doing anything at the time. There was only 2 shows, and each show was on for maybe a total of maybe 6 hours a month. There was really nothing happening here. So I got to talking to the guys, and one thing led to another, and that so it was offered to me to run the studio in here. So from getting in here and getting to know, doing the murder mysteries, it's comedies, and I considered myself a comedic performer, but I wasn't doing stand-up. So I didn't know a lot of guys in the stand-up world. I was a fan of it, and I would come to Governor's quite often because I don't live too far from here. But I didn't know them personally. So once I came in here and got to know, I know almost everybody that's hanging around or that comes in now. So that's one thing led to another, and just talking to some of the guys, and well, why don't you try it? And just seeing who these guys who are now my friends doing it, I kind of got the bug. I was like, all right, let me give it a shot here. So I took a class that they offer here. A guy named John Truson, who's been on the New York comedy scene since I think the mid 80s, if I'm not mistaken. On the local level, just a legend. Funny guy, and he still works here at Governor's. In fact, I think he's in the building as we speak. He teaches a class here, and so I took the class, really learned a lot about the science behind it, the art of it. It's not just going up there and doing your material. There's a lot involved in it. It's not as easy as civilians think it is. So I gave it a shot, and really enjoyed the class a lot. So and the graduation to the class is a show.
Right.
They put together a night where all the students perform, and they bring in some seasoned veterans to to make it good. And and I happen to have the most people of all the students. I had the most people come to see me that night. So if the more people you bring depended on where you were on the list. So
okay.
so I got to go last. So that was my joke. I got to headline. Um, but yeah, because they were there. Now, John's great, but he was very real about it, and he said, don't get your ego going. He goes, these people are laughing to support you. They're laughing because they know you and they appreciate you. Because you get a crowd of people, of total strangers, they might not laugh as hard. He said,
Right.
so don't. But doing it for the first time like that, it really just, it was such a cool feeling and such a fun night that I definitely had the bug after that and just decided to keep doing it. And then I don't know, it was just maybe 3 or 4 months later the governors asked me to host one of the shows. And again, I live very close to governors. If you're on Long Island, everybody knows governors. And even in the comedy world, you ask a comedian from California, and they may never have been here. They may not be able to tell you much about it, but they'll tell you that they've heard of governors.
Right.
So to be asked by governors to host a show, it just really it makes you feel like you're doing something right. And I host here at Governors maybe, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times a year because it's just not. I do love it and I have fun, but I'm not chasing it. I mean, I'm like you said, you're 65. I'm going to be 55. It's it's anything's possible, but it's unlikely that there's going to be somebody walking into Governors. What 55-year-olds gonna can I find here tonight to really take on the comedy scene? Like it's just not. That's just not happening. So for me, it's more of just a fun thing, a side thing. So so I don't go crazy doing it all that much. So yeah, maybe 4 or 5 times a year here they'll say, hey, you want to do this one, you want to do that one, or sometimes I produce. They have another room here, as you know,
Yeah, the giggle
because
room.
January 24th, come see GD. The Giggle Room. That's a room where people can independently produce their own shows. So I've done a little bit of that too, and that I seem to enjoy. Like I'll go up on stage and be a part of it, but I like the whole aspect of booking it and getting the comedians and trying to sell tickets, and I like all aspects of it. So that was a long-winded answer to getting into
Yeah,
stand-up
to ask
comedy.
a long-winded answer for me asking you how you're doing today. That was no. Good God, no, no.
All right.
I hate to even see how long that answer is for me to ask you about your leg. My God, no, see, no. Which now, actually, before I get to your leg,
Okay.
the
That's what she
difference,
said.
the difference. Hi, I'm GD Fenderson, Certified Forensic Humourist and host of Dumb Way Past Funny. You have just watched part one of our interview with actor, comedian Tony Walker of Knockem Dead Comedy. Please join us as we continue our interview, and when you come back to join us, bring a friend.